Okay, so I want to answer this question. What is culture? How does it change? How is it transferred? So we used a two-part definition of culture as a system of practice. And what that means is, as a system, it's a guide for organizing our collective behavior. So the norms, values, and rituals. And then all of the material culture that sets the stage for how we act. And then it's a practice in the sense that we're continuously, through our interactions, recreating it and further maintaining culture. So a system of practice, the implementation of the guidelines that are given to us by social structure, our institutions, and our status. It changes. We talked about cultural diffusion as a way for cultural leveling. In that cultural diffusion, so the exchange of ideas and products between cultures that are different, leads to cultural leveling. So the idea that cultures are becoming more similar to one another. And if you go to a different country, so someone turned in a scene sociology that was really good, and they said, is this New York or Hong Kong? And it was Hong Kong, but it looks very similar to the United States, to New York City. And a lot of the products and goods that we have in the United States are now part of or available in other parts of the world, in other cultures. So by just exchanging ideas and products between cultures, this process of cultural diffusion, it leads to cultural leveling, similar outcomes, similar norms, values, and rituals in different cultures. And the last question, how is it transferred? That's referring to cultural transmission. So I talked about this process as something that sets us apart from animals, that we are able to convey our culture, the norms, values, and rituals, and all of the things that make up our belief system to people we've never met. So cultural transmission through language or socialization. For animals, for instance, in order for them to teach someone about, or teach another animal about their culture, it has to be in the immediate vicinity. They have to be able to observe them, whereas that's not true. We can convey our culture to people we've never met and who don't even exist at the same time as us. So in 10,000 years, people will be able to know about our culture because of language. So that sets us apart from animals. And so it changes in terms of cultural diffusion and cultural leveling, but more than that, as a system of practice, we can argue that culture is ongoing and doesn't exist until we create and maintain it. So if we're going to use that analysis, which is in line with symbolic interactionism, we would say that it's changed by the interactions and the behaviors of individuals. And I think a good example of this would be fashion as material culture. So it changes over time, and the reason it changes is because individuals and then groups and collectively as a whole change our behaviors of what we're going to wear or not wear. So that is culture.